So Perry, tell us how you think digital assets changes financial services going forward. What are your use cases? Where do you think this industry is going? It's not too late to get in. Scientists and physicists that are studying the correlation and the historical price of Bitcoin are projecting Bitcoin to hit $1 million within 8 years. Big things are happening for crypto behind the scenes. You need to know about this. Today, President Donald Trump signs an executive order to allow the integration of digital assets into traditional financial services and payment systems. Smash the like button. Let me explain what this does. Basically, this is instructions to the Federal Reserve and other regulators to dismantle the long-standing barriers that have excluded crypto and fintech firms from the U.S. payment system, the Fed, and other banking institutions, escalating a years-long battle over access. And with today's executive order, it seems there are blue skies for crypto in America. Again, the order asks the Fed to review how uninsured depository institutions and non-bank financial firms can get access to payment accounts and services. This is a huge deal for Bitcoin and crypto companies that have been historically locked out of banking, and they are racing to turn this into bipartisan law. Senator Loomis updates us on exactly what we need to see with the Clarity Act. We need to pass this before midterms. We need to get this voted on this summer. If we don't create a clear regulatory framework, we're going to lose out to Dubai, to Singapore. Those jurisdictions don't have as many consumer protections as the ones we've developed with the Clarity Act. They're trying like hell to pass this as soon as possible. Senator Loomis updates us today. Next, we're going to take the bill that we passed in the Senate Banking Committee last week. We're going to combine it with a bill that's already passed the A Committee in the Senate, which deals with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission part of this subject. Then, we're going to wrap in some language about ethics, as well as make some technical changes to the Genius Act. So then, we're going to put it all together and present it on the Senate floor. Hopefully sometime this summer. And what's really interesting is the way that the conversation around Bitcoin is changing in Washington and around policy and policymakers itself. Bitcoin isn't just money, it's infrastructure. The U.S. Navy is already using Bitcoin's encryption to protect military data. This is bigger than finance. It's about securing everything of value. Perry Ann Boring is the founder and chair of Digital Chamber. She actively has conversations around policy with Washington, educating them. She's not the first to say this. This is not the first time we're sharing this, but it is hugely bullish that the conversation for incorporating Bitcoin into America is not just about finance anymore. It's about military protection. Listen. So, Perry, tell us how you think digital assets changes financial services going forward. What are your use cases? Where do you think this industry is going? Well, just last month, we saw the U.S. Navy share in a congressional testimony that they are using the power of Bitcoin, the encryption power of Bitcoin, to protect military data. This really validates and puts a stamp of approval of Bitcoin not just to being used in the financial system, but as critical technology in all sorts of infrastructure. When most people think about Bitcoin, they think about money. They think about the financial system. But the technology underpinning Bitcoin, the blockchain, can be used to facilitate, protect, and transfer any type of asset or thing of value, including data. So we are seeing this technology being used for financial transactions, financial assets, but we are also seeing it to protect data. I believe we will see it used in protecting other types of information, personal identifiable information. Think of healthcare data. Think of the insurance industry. The types of interactions and transactions all can be done protected using blockchain rails. And this is open technology. It's open source. It's not proprietary like most software, meaning it's free to use. So it's going to make a range of services cheaper for everyday people and Americans, and safer because it's protected with military-level encryption. Wow. In terms of investment and allocating capital, where do you think the growth story is within digital assets right now? It is still very early, and so many people are like, it's late. How is it that Bitcoin's already over 70,000, 80,000, and I haven't gotten in yet? It's not too late to get in. Bitcoin follows the laws of nature. It follows the power law, and scientists and physicists that are studying the correlation and the historical price of Bitcoin are projecting Bitcoin to hit $1 million within 8 years. It's growing not exponentially, is growing according to power law. It's a network. It's going to continue to grow. And we're seeing with all these big updates that we're talking about, regulatory clarity, you have Wall Street coming on board. All the brokerages are now allowing crypto trading and recommending allocations. We have so much demand coming into the space, and of course supply is fixed, so only one thing can happen in that equation. And it is still early to get in. Wow, that is a great point. And another huge policy breakthrough is imminent. White House Crypto Executive Director says the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve announcement, a new one, is imminent. It's a breakthrough. Patrick Witt, the White House Executive Director of Crypto, hinted at this at the Bitcoin conference about a month ago. He says this is coming in a matter of weeks. We have an announcement. It's a breakthrough as far as getting everything in place, legally sound, properly safeguarding the assets. Listen, SPR clarity, because last week you were in Vegas. Actually, we could start there. And you made all the headlines by saying that there'd be an announcement coming from the White House on the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. It seems to be like the forgotten stepchild of all the, clarity genius with rationally. So, just because there's so many priorities, but it was nice, I think, hear that there's still progress there. There's still work going on behind the scenes. We never, put it down. We never stopped working on it. But it was one of those things that clarity was dominating all the headlines, sucking up all the oxygen in the room. But Harry has really led the charge on that. Harry Young, my deputy, and done an incredible job working through just the interagency process. The executive order obviously tasks certain agencies to work this out, but that's usually just a starting gun, and then it's like, all right, actually do the work. What legal memos need to be drafted? What authorities do we have? Do we have the appropriate authorities? So working through all of that takes time, and Harry has done an incredible job of bird-dogging that and staying on top of it. And it's really been a team effort with Stephen Miller's team, DOSP, the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, who their group is really responsible for making sure that all the executive orders that have been signed are being followed through on. And so we'll have an announcement. I wish I could say more at this time, but I think we're still within the window that I gave myself. Yeah, we're an announcement of an announcement phase still, but no, it's a breakthrough as far as getting everything in place. Legally sound, properly safeguarding the assets. We obviously were working on the SPR ever since the executive order was signed, and then the theft of assets from the U.S. Marshals for some of the Tier 2 assets, if you follow that story, was really just kind of like a great proof point that we really need to take this seriously. These assets have to be safeguarded. They are unique. It's going to require the government to do this in a bit of a different way, and obviously take it very, very seriously because we have more of these assets on the balance sheet. So Bitcoin is only $76,000 today. Ethereum, only $2,100. Solana, $85. Dogecoin, $10. And how it is becoming more and more likely that the Bitcoin bottom cycle bottom is in. Keep in mind the day after the worst day of a Bitcoin bear market is technically the start of a new bull market. And in retrospect, although Bitcoin did make a new all-time high at the end of 2025, 2025 was largely flat and hardly indicative of a bull market. It's possible the bull market started in 2025. The capitulation event happened here, and then further capitulation where everybody gave up happened here, meaning the bull market started here. Well, we'll really only know in retrospect, but let me update you on the charts and the data. Psychedelic, a 7-year crypto veteran macro specialist, updates us on exactly where Bitcoin stands today. The chances of new lows have become extremely slim. It has now been 105 days since the cycle low in which the 1-week RSI entered oversold. Very bullish. only the fourth time ever. The only time Bitcoin made new lows after 105 days after the bottom was in the last cycle. However, the RSI had not reclaimed 50 at that point, which in this cycle it already has. In addition, after 105 days in 2022, Bitcoin was pretty much at the lows. Now, we have reclaimed high time frame structure. In every other cycle since Bitcoin's birth, 105 days after the RSI low, the bottom was well in. You can see here in the 2018 bottom that after 105 days, Bitcoin had also reclaimed 50 on the RSI and was at new local highs, just like we are now. Using 2022 as your cope to keep waiting for new lows has become extremely thin, because we can see this cycle is actually nothing like that one already. And the only reason, in my view, that 2022 is the outlier here is because FTX was technically a black swan event, making it the only cycle to have made new lows after the one-week RSI reached oversold. Bottom is in. The crypto market has clearly cleansed itself from all of the leverage and fraud of 2022. Drake commemorating all of this on his new album. Actually, one of his more popular songs on his new album, where FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried have their own little line. I am a FTX penthouse high-riser. Samuel Bankman-Fried, all my guys up. Yeah, little tongue-in-cheek, little humor. I am a FTX high-riser. Yeah. But really, in my opinion, Drake's main point in the song happens right here, where he says, I am a BTC crypto big-timer. I am a BTC crypto big. Oh my God, crypto is on another level today, and the biggest companies in the world are acting like crypto is here to stay, and crypto regulation is already passed. We're seeing stuff like this happen on a daily basis. Just in, Morgan Stanley submits an amended filing for their Solana ETF. Morgan Stanley likes Bitcoin. Morgan Stanley likes Ethereum. Morgan Stanley likes Solana. Usually we have XRP news in the United States nowadays, but this news happens to be taking place in India. The bullish news, if we were to extrapolate bullish news from this, it is that Indian banks are using the XRP ledger for interbank and cross-border transactions. Now, this particular speaker is excited about XRP, but says that they're using XRP for a CBDC. I guess they're using XRP, so that's good. And we are consulting small countries, not like India, so they are very advanced. We are already into the CBDC platform. We are consulting small countries as one of the advisory, paper submission and everything on the CBDC, how they can move to CBDC. Make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily if you're interested in making money in crypto. Subscribe to our channel, join our team, and watch every day. My name is Shabin. I'll see you tomorrow, my